We are witnessing the evolution of one of the world's most loved EDC bags. The Evade 1.5 is becoming the Evade 1.0X. Wait, is that right? Hello, I'm Roland from Rushfaster, and at Rushfaster we do guides and walkthroughs bringing you better gear and better ways to carry. Today's video is sponsored by our new US Rushfaster store, but more on that later on. The naming convention of Alpha 19's Evade line can be a little bit confusing, but hopefully this video will clear everything up. Basically, this is a very special bag, and it's special because it celebrates the 10-year anniversary of Alpha 19, a small but mighty carry company run by former Milan and New York fashion designer and military gentleman Helmi Ashabli. The Evade was the company's first release, and it was originally named the Recon 9. It then evolved into the Evade 2.0, which was a 30-litre pack, and then they made a 25-litre Evade, which they called the 1.5, and now they have the Evade 1.0X, which is a 21-litre pack. So it all sort of makes sense if you assume that the accompanying number indicates the volume in some way. The X, of course, indicates the company's 10th anniversary. Clear as mud, right? Let's move on. So the Evade 1.0X has been co-designed with David Valenchik and Brandon Voulage, two names that bagheads might be familiar with, but if you are not, David runs D-Made Bags, whose pouches have a near cult-like following, and Brandon is the senior editor over at Carryology, so a lot of brainpower and experience went into this bag. Now, at first glance, the X, and that's what I'm just going to call it from now on, may not look a lot like its previous iterations, but as you look closer, you will start to see the similarities, from the shapes of the zippers to the placements of the pockets, the padding on the back panel. In fact, the old Evade 1.5, which is a bag that I have featured on this channel, I have used a lot, and I have really enjoyed, had some things that I didn't love about it. Well, Helmi and his collaborators must have felt the same way, or they subscribed to the Rushfaster YouTube channel. I don't know, maybe you should subscribe too. Anyway, they have addressed all of the concerns that I had with the 1.0X, but we'll get to those later on. First, let's take a look at the specs. So the dimensions are 18.5 by 12 by 6 inches, or 47 by 30.5 by 14 centimeters. It's 21 liters in volume, weighs 3.5 pounds or 1.575 kilos, and it comes with a 5-year limited warranty. The external material is Dimension Polyance X50. The bottom of the pack is 1050D ballistic nylon. This X-Pack feels, to me, like a mix between X-Pack and Cordura. And I like it because it's not too loud and crinkly, but it still has the visual interest and water resistance of an X-Pack. It's quite rigid as well, so the pack keeps its shape even when it's empty. And then that 1050D ballistic nylon base is there to add extra protection to the part of the bag that will see a lot of ground. The interior material is fully lined in Challenger's Ultra Grid sailcloth, which is a wonderful dark chili color. I absolutely love this color. It's really deep red, and it's not a color that I've seen on a bag before. It offers some good visibility without the blinding brightness of a neon orange, which was quite popular there for some time. Elsewhere, there's a reinforced carry handle with a leather wrap, and that leather's a nice touch. It adds some durability and some comfort. I'm not sure what type of leather they've used, but I can see some grain through the coating, which is a good sign. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ages and patinas. There's also this little leather morale patch which you can swap out, and leather zipper pulls on all of the zips, and those zips are YKK TPU coated reverse coil number 10s and number 8s. On the harness system, they've used multi-column webbing, which is also known as like car seat material, and SRB closed cell foam in the shoulder straps. So the X has some solid materials all around, as well as some high quality construction from Alpha 19's own studio in Saigon. The external pocketing situation on the X is great. And by great, I mean that there's a lot of options. And I like this in an EDC bag because it means that I don't have to get stuck into the main compartment every time I need my sunnies or my wallet or a laptop charger. So we have the front organizer compartment with 2 sleeve pockets with a large loop field, a zippered pocket above it, an attachment mount, and a key loop. That's a decent amount of organization as it is, but if you want to turn this into a full-blown admin pocket, Alpha 19 also sells these admin pockets which attach via hook and loop. This gives you more pockets as well as some space for pens and cards. And this is where I keep my wallet, my AirPods Pro, keys, pens, and a notebook. This is also where I tend to throw smaller sundry items that I pick up while I'm on my day out and about. This pocket goes all the way to the bottom of the bag, so there's enough room there for a book or even a slim pouch. Sitting above that front pocket is a sunglasses pocket. Super easy to access, soft line material on the inside, and up and out of the way of everything else so it's not going to get crushed. At the bottom of the bag, there is a stealth pocket with a lip covering the reverse coil zipper. Now you might be thinking, what contraband is he keeping in there? None. I'm using it to stash my chargers in here. It's a wide pocket, but it's only small, so this is a good use for me. The X has 2 water bottle pockets, one on each side. These sit flat against the bag when not in use thanks to some elastic banding. You can see that my 750mm Camelback chute fits in there just fine, and Alpha 19ers say that they have tested this to hold the Hydro Flask Trail, which is a 24-ounce bottle. Today's video is sponsored by our new US Rushfaster store. That's right, we have a store for US customers, so if you're stateside and looking for some new gear, then check out rushfaster.com. We have a small but growing carry selection of a lot of our favorite brands, including brands that we feature on this channel all the time, and we will continue to add to it as we go. So if you're in the market for some new gear and you live in the US, consider checking out rushfaster.com. Okay, moving around to the back of the bag. This is an updated version of their Whiteley backpack back panel with new SBR closed cell foam. There's a fair amount of cushioned mesh for comfort and a decent airflow channel with a discreet luggage pass-through. So that should provide some ventilation for the sweaty among us. The closed cell foam on the shoulder straps feels really great. It's firm enough to hold its shape, but it compresses nicely and then bounces back into shape. Here's how it looks on the body. I'm 5'9" and 155 pounds, or 105 centimeters and 70 kilos. These straps are much thicker throughout their whole length compared to the other Evades, and while the comfort on the Evade 1.5 wasn't one of the things that I complained about, the X makes the 1.5 feel like you're sleeping on a sack of doorknobs. The X is one comfortable carry. The laptop compartment is separate to the main compartment, sort of, hold that thought. My 14-inch MacBook Pro goes in just fine, and you should be able to get a 16-inch in without any issue. There's a raised bottom here and plenty of padding on either side, so your laptop will be nice and safe. It is quite a slim compartment though, and the opening isn't very wide, so it's laptops only. Okay, let's take a look at the main compartment. So we open up the number 10 zippers on this 95% clamshell opening, and we can see that dark chilly shine. The layout here is really nice. There's a fair bit happening, but they've managed to keep it simple at the same time. So as you can see, there is quite a bit of space, and because of the rigidity of that material, you really get a sense of the capacity available to you. Up top, there are some loops for attaching accessories, and then behind that, there's a secret little door to the laptop compartment. I don't know how useful most people will find this, but it does close with hook and loop, so it's out of the way and you won't be bothered by it if you never use it. There is also a little padded and raised pouch here, and this is where I'm keeping my iPad and Apple keyboard. Elsewhere you can see I've got my Roos laptop stand, my Blunt Metro umbrella, my D-Made stubby pouch, made by David Valenchik, who is one of the collaborators on the Evade 1.0X. On the front we have a fairly classic 2 zippered pockets layout, one mesh, one fabric. They're both zippered and have nice plastic pull tabs. Now because the clamshell is only 95%, the mesh pocket on the bottom folds a bit awkwardly, so you may need to be a bit careful about what you use it for. It's less of an issue when you access the main compartment like a half zip or a top loader, so I'm just keeping snacks in the mesh pocket and my Magic Mouse is in the top pocket. There's also an attachment mount at the top. Now, let's see how the X performs in our Rushfaster beer capacity test. But first, if you haven't signed up to our email newsletter, then you are missing out. Our free email newsletter gets delivered to your inbox every 2 weeks and has all of the latest carry news from around the world, as well as deals on new gear and all of our latest videos. And just by being a subscriber, you go into the running to win gear that we feature on this channel. If that sounds like a good time to you, then join the thousands of others and sign up to our newsletter via the link below. Okay, let's fill this up with beer. And there you go. 3 6-packs comfortably with a bit of room to spare. So what were the things that I didn't love about the Evade 1.5 that they addressed on the X? Well, for starters, they used a number 10 zipper on the main compartment instead of a number 8. I generally like the look and feel of number 10s on main compartments. I just think that's how it should be. But I feel especially that the Evade 1.5 was such like a chunky pack that a number 8 sort of felt a bit flimsy and a bit mismatched, and I really felt that it deserved a number 10 zipper. We've got one. I also didn't love all of these extra straps on the 1.5, like 4 compression straps, the bungee cord, there's some straps on the bottom, there's load lifters around the back. It all just feels a little bit messy and sort of gets in the way of the way that I like to use it. I don't mind so much aesthetically. I think it kind of does look cool, but it just didn't work for using the bag. It was a battle. The X is much more streamlined. You can see that all of that stuff is removed and it looks much cleaner. And as a result, much easier to use. I also felt like the grab handle on the 1.5 was a weak point. The handle itself was nice and it felt comfortable, but the way that it had been attached meant that the fabric around it buckled easily, and that didn't instill confidence. The bar stitch webbing and the leather handle feel much more sturdy. And finally, my big complaint was the weight of the 1.5. The 1.5 can weigh up to 2.2 pounds, whereas the X is 1.5 pounds. Now, still not the lightest EDC pack on the market, but it is a significant improvement. So that's what I liked in comparison, but there's plenty of other things that I liked straight up about this bag on its own merit. It's super comfortable to carry, really comfortable. It was just, it was a joy to have on. I've loaded this up with camera gear and lugged it around the city all day with no dramas. And then all of the quick access pockets are really great as well. As I said, like it on an EDC bag, just makes getting what you need on the go very useful. And then 21 litres, I think that's a real sweet spot for EDC, so they've nailed the capacity here. And I like that the bag keeps its shape as well. I like that it stands on its own. I like the rigidity and the feel of the material, and I like the way it looks. I think it looks really, really cool. So that's it for the Evade 1.0X. Congratulations on 10 years Alpha 19er. Here's to another 10. Stick around, you guys are making some great bags. If you're interested in finding out more about anything that we've featured in this video, there are links in the description below. And if you make a purchase using one of those links, it goes a long way to supporting the work that we do here at the channel without any additional cost to you, so we do appreciate that. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, then hey, please consider subscribing. We do a lot of these kinds of videos, talk a lot about bags, carry, we have all sorts of bags, adventure bags, business bags, tech bags, gym bags, travel bags, small bags, big bags. We're a bag channel is what I'm getting at. We're a bag channel. So if you know any bag heads that aren't subscribed to Rushfaster, then send this video their way. But until the next video, I have been Roland from Rushfaster. This has been Alpha 19er's Evade 1.0X. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.